It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Well, I was in a hockey rink today, gentlemen.
Wow.
Covering the Edmonton Oilers. What is today, September 4th? Let's go. Let's get it going. Watching the captain skate, as they're called. I have to say this off the top, by the way.
Whoa. Before you say anything else.
Here we go,
Who
Matt.
looked good?
Okay.
Who looked good? Tell us, who's going to score 50 this year? It's not named McDavid or Draisaitl. Who looked good? Who didn't look good?
That's the end of the list.
Who's making the team? Tell us everything.
I did note this. Now, first of all, Hyman's obviously not skating. His brother's getting married this weekend. Plus, he's still getting through the wrist injury. Bouchard's not out there. Wallman wasn't out there. So guys are still coming into town. Once they sort of started scrimmaging, I mean, they didn't have enough for two full teams. They probably had 2/3 of teams. Okay. But the number one line on the white jersey team was McDavid, Draisaitl, and Mangiapane. And I joked with my buddy Slav Kornick from Global Television. I said, was it like, okay, Leon, captain skate, pretty casual, play with some new guys? No, I'm with Connor. I'm fabricating that conversation, okay? Just want to clarify that's my mind. That's my mind being silly about it. But yes, the cap, well, they have been ongoing, but we kind of got invited down as media today. Draisaitl spoke. Skinner spoke. McDavid is expected to speak tomorrow. I'm already at the point of getting tired of being asked by the about the contract from not from a work standpoint. But one of my friends texted me this morning. And she was like, the one text, "What is going on with McDavid?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't." And then she goes, "Why is there no contract signed?" And when it's professional, I handle those questions. When it's a friend, I almost I don't know what to tell you. I'm not. It's not like, hey, everybody, I know the date. I'm going to tell my best friends. I'm not going to announce it professionally. I sometimes I struggle to know how to handle those situations in my.
I
my
keep
life.
keep a white glove in your back pocket like I do, Reid, and I'm a gentleman about it, but I slap them in the face with it.
Over text, I don't know what to do over text. I still got to decide how I'm going to reply to the text. Who looked good, Cass? They all looked good. You know what? McDavid tried a cross ice pass that got intercepted, and I was livid. I was livid about it. That is unacceptable. Show some leadership.
It's funny because when you mentioned fabricated, Leon go, no, Connor's on my team. I went right back to the famous Cable Guy movie when Chip Douglas says, "I'm on Steven's team."
Oh, we lost Cass. We need help.
His camera
I don't know.
His camera just goes in and out.
Well, I was sitting listening, and I wanted to jump in, but then the camera, I don't know what it was doing. It just, it does this once a show where it decides hey, enough of your face.
Too much good look.
People don't need to see it.
You don't need that much good look.
I think the opposite. I think the opposite problem, guys. The opposite problem.
All right, so here's my question for you. By the way, Reid Wilkins in for Dustin Nielson. Joaquin Gage is here. Matt Kassian from a secret remote location. All right, so even in my tenure covering the Oilers, which I still say is relatively short, because you got to remember I walk in and see, Jim Matheson and Speck wasn't there today. He's usually, even Stoff's been around longer. I'm still one of the newer guys to the media crew, though I guess.
Really?
I guess Daniel Nugent-Bowman is after me. Preston from the Daily Hive. Escott's now doing my old job at Ched, so he's newer to the beat. I guess maybe I'm in the medium range now of longevity. But Matheson's been covering them since they started in the WHA.
Really?
Speck, he got on the Journal relatively young when he started. I think he was mid to late 20s. Stoff's been on the official broadcast team for, I think, 16 years? Or 16 or 17, but he's been on the scene. Anyway, but I feel as if, so what was the first year? The first year I worked on Oilers Now was fall of 2011. And then in the fall of 2013, I started doing Inside Sports and hosting the Oilers games. I feel as if there weren't captain skates.
No. I don't think so either.
I feel this is a relatively recent phenomenon where it's like, hey, guys, we got to get together just as players late August, early September and do stuff. Am I right, Cass? Is this a recent development in the hockey player world?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, I think, on Tuesday, where it really feels like this is something that like it kind of started when I was around. Like it went from being like everyone showed up at camp like 2 days before or the day before to guys showing up like 4 days, then 5 days, then 6 days. And all of a sudden it was like guys are showing up like a week and a half or 2 weeks before camp starts and to be on the ice together. Now, did it start as some guys wanting to show their commitment to the team and to the organization to be like, look, I'm here. It's early. I'm here. Like, put me on the team. Give me a roster spot because I'm in town early. I didn't show up right before camp. Part of me wonders how much of it started with that, and how much of it was driven also by your captains, because we call them captain skates, right? Because the team can't have official skates, right? You're not allowed to, CBA rules. But you can have unofficial skates. If the captain's just got some ice and the guys are getting together, hey, that's okay. And so for the captains, McDavid's and Draisaitl's of the world that have houses here, that know they're going to be here, that are on long-term contracts, it's like, well, yeah, they're going to be into town early, so they can get the house ready, they can get settled in, they got a place, they're not having to live at a hotel like the rest of the peasants that don't know if they're going to be on the roster or not. And it's like the non-roster guys, all of a sudden it's like there's the extra pressure because it's like, oh, well, if I'm skating with the main group before training camp starts, maybe I'll get put with the main group when training camp actually starts, and maybe someone's watching, and maybe there's cameras watching how I'm playing, and then you realize that, well, wait a second, Connor and Leon are just going to play together anyways with Mangiapane, and so it doesn't really actually change anything for me. But it is a little bit of an interesting phenomenon where we move that way. I do getting there a couple days before, like more than 1 or 2 days, especially if you have a long flight, lots of driving. Like you want to be rested and you want to be ready, but it's kind of a little excessive at some point. And we saw that with Edmonton a couple years ago, right, where they started them way too early. Sorry, there's my rant. I'm done.
No, but you're right. That's the year after they lost to Vegas in the second round.
They started really early.
Yeah, and not just they started early, it was super intense. Because I think, that was such a, they were so crushed. Like I remember the Mediaville, like the garbage bag day stuff, and Leon and Connor came out, and that's when Connor gave that cup or bust line, which it should be. I'm not arguing that as having a goal, but and I think that's something Woodcroft probably mismanaged as well, because he always talked about, we got to be ready for game 83. We got to be ready. And like they were focused on the playoffs on August 27th or whatever when they convened. And then I think they learned from that. And even Leon today said, well, I'll have some clips on my show, and I'm sure you and Hernan will as well. But, Leon was like, it's all on paper now. Like we'll have a different identity, but it takes so long to build your team. And I think they learned from that, what was it, 3-10-1 or 3-11-1 start that got Woody fired?
Yeah.
I think they learned from that, where it's like, okay, of course we know we're building towards the playoffs, but let's not be focused on April 20th when we got to play Vancouver on October 7th and then lose 8-1. So I think they learned from that. But you're right, that year they came back. That was just 2 years ago. That was just it seems like a longer time ago. They were so like, we're going to win the cup. We got to win it. We got to prove right now we're going to win it, as opposed to like, okay, let's build. And I think that's why we've seen they haven't freaked out when they've lost 8-1 or when they lose 6-0 last year to Winnipeg on opening day. Like they recovered from some of that stuff.
Do you guys so if you look at that progression, that 1 year, it's like, get right back after it. Last year was, disappointment. This year, the end of this year was the defeat of the realization that the Panthers were a better team, I think. Do you guys think that there's a completely different mindset? Like you're saying that Leon said, it's we're different now. It's a process to get you in the right window for your team. Do you feel their outlook is a good one and comes from that experience and that growth of maturity of losing in those types of ways that will make you better?
I would say yes. For me as a media person, yes, and I think it's just comes with aging as well. Like you realize, not every day is the biggest. I mean, we got some great young guys here, but sometimes I've had to. But even here, some days I've had to hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah,
like, was that your best day? No, but it's not nearly as bad as you thought, and tomorrow's going to be better.
Yeah.
And I still think even hockey players who are competitive and go through this, I still think they get through that type of thing for sure. Now, I know people are going to say, well, they went through it 2 years ago. They still didn't win the cup. I get it. But I think we see a lot more as, and the guys who are identified, well, Nuge is well into his 30s now. But, you talk Nuge, Nurse, Darnell, or Nuge, Nurse, McDavid, and Draisaitl. That's the four who've been here the longest, right? Like they were here 2017 when they got back into the playoffs. I think those guys have seen some stuff now, right?
Yeah.
Now Bouchard's seen some stuff, and you've added Ekholm who's seen some stuff, and and now Kulak's been to the Cup final with another team, and now with these teams. So you hope that helps, because I do think. I don't know what you think, Cass, but I believe, you guys have been in dressing rooms, but I believe as an observer, as a media guy, the steadiness of the mental approach is incredibly important as you go through the length of a hockey season.
It may be, well, I don't want to say it's more important than physical health. I think physical health, when you head into the playoffs, is one of the most important, but that mental health is huge. It's huge. And everyone goes through, they talk about it all the time, all the cliches, all the ups and downs, right? There's ups, there's downs. It's a roller coaster, and your role as an athlete is to not get too high, not to get too low. But, the mental side of the game is such an interesting thing because you want to think that it'd just be easy to be at your best every single day, and that you're able to keep that level of mental focus and fortitude throughout the entirety of a season. And you're just not. Like, these are humans. They have good days, they have bad days, and they're expected to perform at an incredibly high level, regardless of what kind of day they're having. Now, some guys as an athlete, I found it was almost easier to play. I don't want to say it's easier to play when stuff was going on and life was challenging. But it was like an opportunity to shut that off, because it's like, well, you could actually try to dial in and focus on something and not be worrying about whatever else was going on. But it's really hard to do that all the time. And for some guys, so you got to find such a balance as an athlete. And again, to go to that cliche, it's just like, just keep an even keel, which is really easy to say, but really hard to do, and hard to do over a long season.
All right. Of course, Two Guys at a Goalie is presented by the great folks at GS Construction, setting the industry standard for over 50 years with quality, efficiency, and safety driving their success. GS Construction has a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of the team. Visit gsconstruction.ca, click Ready to Work, or visit their page at Indeed.ca. With the Next Person Up program at GS Construction, it's not just a job, it's a career. As yes, we are rolling into hockey season. So McDavid is expected to speak to the media tomorrow. Okay? Be great if we got a news release at 8 a.m. saying it's contract day. I don't know. But I think he realizes that there's the need for an update. And it's just to give, I don't know how much people do care. I feel like when the Oilers, they care about any little thing. These are not, as you guys were describing, these are not official team activities. The players are technically not working, right?
Yeah. Not getting paid right now.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, it's
they're on EI.
They're on, yeah, right. Yeah, they're not back. Another thing I was joking with Slav about, I was like, we should ask Leon, like, hey man, like, what's it like? Would you find an apartment? Like, are you moved into your apartment for the year, or are you in a dorm at Concordia College until you get a place? But so the way these work is, like, the Oilers' two media relations people are there, Jamie Cartmell and Andrew Peard, and they made us aware, like, hey, we'll open these up to the media. And let me know if you want to talk to somebody, but they're on their own time. So if they really don't want to do it, they don't have to, but yet there's still that sort of professional respect of they're still going to, so Skinner and Draisaitl spoke today and we were kind of told like, hey, yeah, like Leon will do it. He knows there's stuff going on and he'll get it done today. And then, McDavid is open to doing it tomorrow because he realizes I think, and that's another thing with the maturity. I think when they were younger, they tried to put it off a little bit. And now maybe they realize it's like, just get in front of us clowns with the microphones for 5 to 10 minutes. And then you're left, like for McDavid, then he's probably left alone until signing day.
Feed the barking seals.
And then Draisaitl's probably left alone until, the 17th or 18th. Yeah. So he gets a couple weeks break from it. So that's kind of how it shakes down. I don't know if Nuge wasn't out there today. Okay. I should mention that he wasn't there, but
probably so traded horses.
No, getting traded.
Yeah.
Getting traded.
Jeez, yeah. Thanks for starting that cast. That's great for all the people who just joined into that very exact part of it for sure. You can get a hold of us in the Nasty Chat. That's the chat on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up there as well. You can text 780-218-9999 if you want to use that old-fashioned form of communication. You can email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com if you have anything else coming in. All right. What do we want? A lot of people are posting in the Nasties. People are excited about the captain skate. Here's a good one from Gordon.
Why are you so excited?
Nothing. Here's what Gordon McDowell wrote. Negotiating with McDavid right now is like loading your van full of groceries and then noticing there's a grizzly inside. Nothing good comes from haggling over the food at that point. Well, it's funny. I don't quite get it, but it's funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny image. It's a terrifying image.
What happens if you don't have a captain? Is it the alternate captain skate?
Well, he's still the captain. He's still out there.
Well, but
he gave the puck away today. I was horrified.
Didn't the Leafs go for a few years without? Maybe that's why they were their demise. They couldn't have captain skates. They had to have alternate captain skates.
Can I throw something out at you guys here on McDavid and why I think they're waiting?
Yes.
Am I allowed? Okay. Permission granted. Good. I think they are waiting on Kaprizov to sign.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because in Craig Leopold, so the owner of the Minnesota Wild, just came out and said they're not far off. They're trying to figure it out. Sarah Valley, I think it was, came out and said they're expecting Kaprizov to be between 15 and 16 million in a max term. And so you're looking at that. And if I'm Connor McDavid, you got to be thinking, well, I don't want to sign for 14 or 14 and a half or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden have Kaprizov sign for 16. Right, like because you're better than Kaprizov, and Kaprizov's a heck of a player. I think they're waiting to see what pans out with that. I think I do. Like the second that game's out, that they're trying to hammer Kaprizov down and get it locked in, even though it's like an 8-year term, as opposed to what could be a slightly shorter term for McDavid potentially. I think they're waiting on that, guys. Like, am I crazy in thinking that that's what they're waiting for?
But I don't think you're crazy. And I've seen the stuff about Kaprizov. To me though, it's counterintuitive. It's like, shouldn't everybody else be waiting on McDavid? Is this a luxury for McDavid to wait on somebody else?
Well, Kaprizov doesn't want to, because if Kaprizov waits on McDavid and McDavid gets 14-5, well, guess what? His number just drops. Yeah. And if McDavid for McDavid, if McDavid signs and then Kaprizov ends up getting more potentially, like it's just everyone's kind of waiting on McDavid. But you have other guys that can set the barometer in the market too. That might mean everyone gets paid a little bit more from your top end guys, which is what they want. They want to make the best players want to make their cookies. Like they want to get them. So I don't know. I don't know if it's counterintuitive. Like, is it a real chicken and the egg scenario you laid out here, Reid?
I think that's an interesting way to put it, but I also think, I don't know, Cass. Like that's a good question. I just don't know if McDavid, I don't think he would think that way. maybe, and I know I spent a considerable time on my show yesterday saying we can't know what McDavid thinks, but I just think for McDavid, like he can do his own thing. Like he can sort of like everybody feels this panic to sign the extension. I think except for the guy who's the object of the extension, right? Because I think, and Leon said today, Leon started by saying he won't comment, and then of course commented. That's usually what players do. But he said, he has to do what's best for himself, but he likes playing here, he likes living here, and he wants to win here. Yeah, but he's got other factors to weigh into it. I just think for McDavid, he's the last one who feels any sort of a rush about it. Like in terms of by rush, I don't mean a thrill. Like he's the last one who feels that it has to happen by September 3rd because that's when Leon's happened. Or it has to probably, I think he would prefer to have it done by the start of training camp if we take his value or take his comments from the Olympic camp last week at face value. But I think he'd like to have it done by the start of the season. So I don't know. I still think, Cass, if he says to the Oilers, this is my number, this is what I want, does he care about what Kaprizov is getting? Or does he just care about, I'm well paid, I'm going to play with Leon for X number of years? I don't know. Again, that's the part for me. I can't understand how he thinks.
It's not the be all end all. He's not going to only care about what other guys make. But you got to remember, like there's a measuring contest that goes on with athletes.
Sure.
I mean, that's why you're competitive, right? You want to win. And it's not the thing in the NHL and most professional sports is there's multi layers, like there's multiple levels of measurement, right? Like you have championships. You win the NHL, you have just records, you have goals, assists in hockey, other sports, you have the same. You have prestige to a certain extent with that. You want to be called the greatest of all time. You want to be called the greatest current. You want to be like, you want, as an athlete, you guys are driven by those things. And part of that measuring contest is how much money do you make? And you don't, and at some point for some guys, that takes a little bit less precedence because they want to have the measurement of, hey, I won championships, and they know if they're making too much, they don't get that. So McDavid may fall a little bit into that camp because it's like he knows he's going to make his money, but he really wants to win. And so taking too much money may inhibit his ability to do that as much as he would like. So maybe he takes a little bit less. But you can't tell me that there's still not a significant portion. I mean, no, significant might not be the right word, but there's a portion of him or a portion of his brain that doesn't look at this and go like, yeah, I'm the best in the world, because he is. I should be paid like I'm the best in the world. I don't want to make less than that guy. I'm better than him. I deserve more than him. I bring in more tickets than him. I sell more merchandise than him. I bring the league and the team and everything more value than he does. So why am I not getting paid the same? Like there's always an element of that. Even if some guys, it takes a little bit of a lesser role. So I don't know. Like I don't think that's his first reaction, but it would for me. I would feel that. Like I just don't know. I don't know how you wouldn't.
Does he feel that way? I mean, it's hard to say because I think McDavid just breathes and looks at things a lot differently. And making $1 million less than Kaprizov. I'm just saying this. Does he feel slighted by not making more? If that did transpire, if Kaprizov ended up signing for whatever $500,000 or $1 million more than McDavid signed for, does that hurt Connor McDavid's feelings, or does he feel slighted in that? I don't think it does, Cass. I don't think he's motivated by. I think when he looks at it at the end of the day and the stats pages and all the things, he would look at the number of wins, the point totals, how well his team's doing, playoff appearances, and hold them in higher regard than dollar value compared to some other guy on another team. I just get that feeling from him. I could be wrong. You could, and I get that. Like you sometimes you see a guy, you go, how did that guy sign that deal? Where's his agent? I got to get him.
Right.
Like, this is ridiculous. But I just I have a tough time thinking McDavid views things like that. I think he has more of a view similar to Sidney Crosby. And granted, Sidney Crosby's estimated career earnings are roughly around $150 million over his NHL career. McDavid's just under that $100 million mark. He'll undoubtedly reach that, probably in endorsements alone. But yeah, I don't think that's a huge jump off the cliff moment for McDavid.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what Kaprizov gets. So is Kaprizov going to get more than Leon? That's what we're thinking.
That's
because right now Leon has the biggest contract.
Yeah,
right.
And he's Kaprizov, great player. He's not Is he more comparable to Leon or is he more comparable to Connor? That's a question. What do you think, Cass? You watched the Wild more than.
Yeah, I mean, he's different than both of them. He's just a different type of player. You know, to that team, he is Connor.
Yeah.
Right. To the Minnesota Wild, he is Connor. You have support guys, and maybe that's just a little more explosive. He's not physically like Leon. He's a more of a skill player. You know, Boldy's more the Leon type kind of power forward that group has. Where he's a bigger body, but yeah, I would kind of, I don't know. It's a very different player, right? But you have to have him. I think you have to have him in the top 10 forwards in the league.
Just some comments here in the Nasty Chat. Andrew E. says it's not McDavid's job to take a discount. He helps generate revenue for all the other players. Other players are responsible for taking less if they want to win with him. The doc says this is why Sidney Crosby will go down as the best leader in modern hockey, sticking with a very good cap hit his entire career to help pay for other players. That's why he has 3 cups. Okay, the doc. I take big issue with what you wrote.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby is maniacally superstitious about the numbers 8 and 7. Okay? And earlier in his career, he actually was quite a large portion of the cap hit, making 8.7. Mm-hmm. And then he insisted on keeping on making that even later in his career. So, yes, he is a good leader. He's won 3 cups. I think you're oversimplifying it because there are other reasons why he makes that amount of money. Yeah. Because he just likes those numbers a lot. Yeah. And yes, it has helped the Penguins. Well, I guess the last couple of years, but certainly, I mean, they've got 3 cups under his tenure, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I like the fact that, you know what, you're coming to Edmonton. This is where, and we had this discussion too. This isn't where other players should look forward to playing on teams with players like Leon and Connor because you know you'll be competitive and there is the possibility of winning.
Right.
All GMs, doesn't matter, you know, if you look at teams in junior and at the university level, the teams that most GMs will look like are the winning teams, the teams that win. They don't, you know, you might be if you're a good player, but the team loses, they will pick the guy of similar caliber that's on the winner than the loser because everyone wants winners. That's why you see teams that win the Memorial Cup each year. A lot of those guys get signed or have professional tryouts right after that. Yeah, I think it's a mindset, and it's weird. We've talked about it. We don't know what goes on with these negotiations, but it just seems like the bending over backwards for players to sign in Edmonton. It's puzzling to me that they can get all these extra add-ons, no movement clauses, this and that, and while playing with 2 of the best players on the planet. It's a bargaining chip that, from the outside looking in, isn't used enough in the negotiating tactics, getting people to sign here in Edmonton.
This has spurred some good conversation on a couple of different topics. Some text to 780-218-9999. Mike from Calgary says, I was wondering the same thing about Mini 97 and his contract. Is that what we call Kaprizov?
I guess.
Mini 97. While not apples to apples, as McDavid deserves the bag, it's scary. This could be another Nurse situation if Mini overpays. Sean says, I think what's underrated is the psychological side for 97 losing back-to-back cups. He hasn't had a goalie in his career, and he's closing in on 30. The organization has lost a lot of pieces, and no good significant changes have happened. He's likely burnt out a bit, so he's taking his time. I think he's taking his time. I think it's a short off season. I push back on anybody who's writing off this Oilers season already.
Sean,
let's see what happens.
I'll let you know. Burnt out, not a chance at that age when you're playing. You can't wait for it to start again. The player of that caliber and all NHLers, all it does is motivate you even more to be better at that point. You don't get to that level without that type of view and intestinal fortitude to come back like that. So I wouldn't think that Connor McDavid is burnt out from losing 2 cups. If anything, he's even fueled more to win.
Dirk says, damn rights the league wants McDavid to be the top paid player, and so he should be. And this texter, Blair, says, ask who would he compare to his generational Gretzky and Crosby. Both of those two, I believe, at no point were the highest paid player in the back half of their career. They wanted to be known as the greatest. Look, Crosby has been very well paid. Let's not underestimate that.
No, yeah.
Gretzky, it's a slightly different situation because for most of his career there was all of his career there was no salary cap. Yeah. All of his career there was no salary cap. I mean, look, I feel like we're sort of, for some people, they're wading into these waters where it's they're trying to turn McDavid's contract negotiations into an evaluation of his character. Like, because I feel like the people aren't blatantly saying it, but if I'm reading between the lines, we have some people saying he has to prove he's the alpha. He has to prove he's the best. Part of that is being the highest paid. And then I feel like we're having other people sort of suggesting, well, if he's all about winning, he should pay for just the league minimum and be a good guy that way. I think both are kind of a little extreme. He's going to be extremely well paid, and he should be extremely well paid. And, something will probably happen this month along those lines. Cass, you want to respond to anything there or jump in?
I don't like that people are like making him out to be, or would even have the thought of being like making him out to be a villain in the negotiation process. And if anyone's like, well, how dare he needs to take less so that they can win. Like, give your head a shake. That's such a crazy attitude to take towards somebody. And I know it's like you've seen enough ups and downs, and you've lost twice in the finals, and that part's really frustrating, but there is zero obligation. He should feel zero obligation in that negotiation to take a hometown deal or to take less. Like, he should get what he's worth. He's the best player in the world. You shouldn't make him out to be a villain or for a villain for not having it done yet. Guess what? The guy's a grown adult. He can make his own decisions. He can think of things. He doesn't have to do it yet. He doesn't. So quit freaking out. Quit worrying about it. Just be patient.
When did I mention these goalies? Mike in the Nats chat, these 2 goalies really, Gage? I mean, well, these two goalies have gotten to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. I don't, are you looking for just one spectacular effort for one game? Yeah. But these guys have both proven that they can get you to the finals. I'm getting tired of this goaltender talk already. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to hear from.
I didn't even touch on that because it's like
What? Yeah, what? I don't know what you mean. Like,
I think he just doesn't think the Oilers have good goaltending, and he wanted to point that out. I mean, we deal with us all the time.
He's blaming everybody. The playoffs. Yeah.
Here's topic A. Let's talk about topic A. Yeah, but topic C, I want to talk about this, and I don't like these guys. Like, we deal with that all the time. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
New goalie coach. We'll see if Skinner plays better. He talked about that today. He started to work with him a little bit, and just coming back from another trip to the Cup final that didn't work out. So I'm sure Hernan's getting that ready for your show, and Jay and I will go over that on the Reid Wilkins show from 3 to 6 p.m. today as well. All right. Joaquin Gage is here. Matt Kassian remotely. I'm Reid Wilkins in for Dustin Nielson today. Where did Dusty go? I just rolled in like 3 minutes before the show and sat down and started doing it.
emceeing
he's got the event today. Is it a golf thing?
A golf thing, yeah.
Because he's not traveling. Is he traveling for CFL this week?
He's doing the game here.
He does have the game here.
So.
Which is good. The Elks have won the other 2 home games that he's done play-by-play for.
Really?
Because I've blown him a kiss before both games, and they've gone on to win.
I brought him hot dogs.
Do you do hot dogs every game at Commonwealth?
Not every game.
But you've done concerts too.
Yeah, I do concerts, but I get in free.
And is this for fundraising for something?
My daughter's
you're passionate
dance.
about? Okay.
Yeah.
For something your daughter is passionate about.
Yes. That I. So it's always fun when my daughter gives me attitude and I'm slaving away scrubbing dishes in the back corner of Commonwealth so she can pursue her dreams as a professional dancer.
Oh, that's awesome. The doc says, LOL, come on, Reid. No one is suggesting he shouldn't secure the bag. I do think there's genuine concern about cap implications with too many heavy deals. Nothing wrong with bringing that up. No, I'm not saying anything is wrong with it. But I definitely get the suggestion. And look, there are a lot of comments we get, the doc, that aren't read on air. So I got to kind of coalesce or collate all those. There are some people who say he's got to take a hometown discount. That's how he proves he's a great captain. That's how he's proving he's a great leader. So the doc, if you see all the messages I saw, you would understand why I'm bringing that up. But thank you for weighing in.
I thought everyone would be a lot happier knowing that everyone has to be cap compliant going into the playoffs this year. I think that's super important.
Okay, so you can have a roster that's over the cap, but you can't ice a lineup that's over the cap.
Exactly.
So you could be $10 million under the cap and have 2 $10 million players, and you have to scratch one of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or,
hypothetically.
Yeah.
But see, that's kind of, I said it from day one, like it's such an easy fix to me, or was such an easy fix to me, where I'm like, just like put in a cap. You got to be underneath the cap on game, or you give a cap plus 5% or plus 10%. So you have like slightly a little bit of wiggle room in there, but like your game night roster has to be cap compliant.
I mean, they do it for 82 games, so they might as well just do it for the next 20 some.
Right. Exactly.
Gordon says the real question is what beer will cost over the next few seasons that Rogers plays. I don't even know how much a beer is.
I think it's $800.
17? It's $800. This is why I generally try not to comment on this type of stuff because I don't attend the games as a fan, right? I
wish.
No, people can voice their stuff to me, but I don't feel comfortable saying, well, that's too high or that's too low, because I'm very pampered when I go to the games.
I still remember old game when I was playing in Europe. I came back and I went to a game and I walked in with a guy and he looked like George Costanza with the Gore-Tex coat. It was just a big, huge puffy. I'm like, it's getting a little warm out, but whatever. It's cold in the arena. And no metal detectors, no nothing. I think you can still just go smoke outside and come back in, right? So, and he sits down and he's with a group of his friends and they're saying funny things and I'm kind of paying attention. But I see this guy start like reaching into his jacket and you can see there's shuffling around. And all of a sudden, this big puffy jacket just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And he must have had at least 36 of those tall boy beers stuck in that jacket that he was taking. And he just can't do that anymore. But it was an amazing feat that he was able to smuggle all those beers for his buddy into the. But I get why. I get why these days. You got to come up with plastic containers, I guess, to beat the beat the metal detectors to get in because it's ridiculously expensive.
Deaky Sparks texting in. He says, I know I tell my boss that I should make less money so the company can do better. Said no person ever, so why the hell would McDavid?
Right.
And the Gourd father says McDavid doesn't need to take less. Management needs... I think he means lower end of the roster guys because he left out a word there. Tomasek, Kapanen, and Janmark should be max $1 million. Then you have $1.5 million more to spend on the roster, not top level players. Yeah, here's the thing though. I feel when the salary cap goes up, it still helps the star players and the very good players way more. Yeah. I mean, yes, yes, the minimum's going to go up. But if a GM has $10 million extra, he's not going to be like, oh, great, now I can sprinkle that among my bottom 10 guys, my bottom pairing and my bottom 2 lines. It's like, no, now I got more money to go after a couple stars.
Yeah. No, it's the second, and this would have been back like the 2013 negotiations, and it would have started with the 2005, like back in that lockout, but the 2013 one. And mine was such a little voice at the table. Wasn't even at the table. Call it the voice that was locked outside in the alleyway.
Not even the kids' table.
Trying to chitter. Yeah. Oh no, not even at the kids' table. Give me a break. It wasn't even at the kids' table. But when the negotiations were going on, I was kind of saying, and I said it to a few guys, maybe I should have started honking the horn a little bit more on this, but it was just like, I looked at it and I said, your top guys are going to get the most money. And they're kind of taking advantage of the rookies, money on the way in, young guys, and everyone in the middle is going to get squeezed out. And that's exactly what happened immediately after that, where those middle contracts get squeezed out because it's like the top end money goes to top end guys, and then they have to find value with the low end guys. And it's a byproduct of the cap. It's a byproduct of the contract structure. And it's a byproduct of really the guys that have a voice around the table at those negotiations. Guess who they are? They're not going to be the middle guys. They're not going to be the rookies, right, in CBA negotiations and dealing with all that. It's the old guys. It's the star players that have that leverage and utilize it. And good for them at the end of the day. But that's just the reality of it. The more cap money comes in, it's going to the big guys to retain them. That's where it's going. And you're going to continue to see players that price themselves out. Like your percentage, I don't know what I would have to say, like your percentage of players that have that, we'll call it middle average contract, right, is just probably incredibly low. If we look now compared to where historically it was, going way back 15 years or so. So, I mean, it's just this part of it now, guys. It's part of it.
All right, let's transition into, and I'm going to go, we'll do some fun, we'll do a couple of football topics as well, since it's NFL starting up and a big game for the Elks on Saturday as well. Hired or fired for GS Construction. Hiring now. Become a part of their great team today by visiting gsconstruction.ca or their page on indeed.ca. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS Construction has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction. I'll start, though, with a hockey one. Hire it or fire it. I should be tweeting line combinations from tomorrow's captain skate.
Hire it. Hire it.
Hire it. You need to.
Yeah, I don't even need to finish my thought.
I'm shocked that you even thought of not doing it because this could be the line combinations at the start of the year, and we need you need to take a step further. Not only do you need to tweet out what the line combinations were, you need to tweet out like what systems they're running and how many turnovers they had. And I expect you to do a full, detailed analytics analysis of this skate. Like, tell me what the Corsi is. Tell me what the Fenwick is. Tell me what the PDO is. Tell me what the high danger chance. Tell me what the zone entries and exits are. Like, if we're not getting this information from you and you're not tweeting it to a level of detail that's satisfactory, Reid, I just don't think we can be friends anymore.
Just know, Reid, because you said Connor McDavid threw a bad cross-ice pass.
It wasn't good.
People are saying he should get $1 million less right now. There's someone out there going, well,
he's done.
Use it in negotiations.
Yeah. What else can I tell you from practice today? Noah Philp made a nice pass on a 2-on-1 during a drill.
Oh, jeez.
To somebody who scored. Lazar took a pretty long shift during the scrimmage.
Who did he score on? Was it Skinner?
I don't remember. There were four. The other two goalies, I'm not even sure who they were.
Okay.
Kasperi Kapanen in the nasty chat. Can Reid tweet out when and where the captain skate is? You were there. I saw you, Kasperi. I think he got a haircut. He didn't have the
the
flow. Is that what you kids call it?
I think so. I wouldn't call it anything, Reid. Tell you
just long hair. That's what we called it when we were kids. Hey, you got some long hair there, eh? That's my flow, Gager.
I looked up it says the average NHL player salary is approximately $3.5 million per year. Or another estimate suggests slightly higher at 3.63 for the 24-25 season.
Okay. I wonder how many players make exactly that. Probably not many. I feel like
doesn't who on the Oilers makes that?
I'll just look at the order. Did you say 3.5?
3.5, 3.63 last year.
So Mangiapane makes 3.6.
Okay, so
Henrique makes 3. Wallman makes 3.4. Is that going to be
Frederick 3.8? So just a little bit over.
How did I miss Frederick? Oh yeah, there
Frederick's
he is.
Over.
He changed his number. He's number 10 now.
Really?
Yeah. Side note.
Hopefully that works.
Well, it was Guy Lafleur's number, not with the Oilers, but in the NHL. Cass is like,
it was too close to something.
Jim Matheson was mad. 21 was only at the blackjack table should you be having 21. Still one of the. I usually bring this up once a year in some context or the other. But remember, I think it was Rick Riley. Remember, he used to have the back page on Sports Illustrated, and he had so many great lines. I think it was him. I hope I'm attributing it to the correct writer. But, when Michael Jordan in the 90s, how much does he gamble or all that kind of stuff? He wrote something along the lines of, I'm not saying Michael Jordan has a gambling problem, but he yells blackjack every time he scores his 21st point of the game. I thought that was a great line.
That's great.
All right, so I'll have my computer set up tomorrow. I'll track Corsi at the captain skate, and I'll put that all out there. I was taught by my former colleague, Rob Brown, and I came to agree with him, that you should not use the phrase must win until a team is eliminated if they don't win a game, either from a playoff series or from playoff contention. Having said that, I believe this is a must-win game for the Elks on Saturday because I think at 4-8, the path to the playoffs is completely overgrown. Hire it or fire it. It's a must-win for the Elks. Cass?
Hire it. I mean, you want to make playoffs? It's a hire it. I know. I don't love the must-win game. There's because all games are must-win. But to me, with this, and if you want to make the playoffs, you want to have any kind of a shot at it. It's a must-win. It's going to be a tough one, guys. That Calgary defense looked really good. Going to be tough for Edmonton in a short week.
It's a must-win, but I believe it's going to be a loss with the injury report that's out.
Yeah.
They're going to have superhuman efforts by everyone to beat that Calgary. Unless Calgary comes in again all fat and sassy and feeling great about themselves, and maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit. Everyone talks about how hard it is to beat a team in football 2 games in a row back to back like that. So they're going to be upset, but they have to win.
Yeah, and again, you're not out, but at 4-8, you probably have to go 5-1 in the final.
And it's
6
the toughest.
Games.
This is the toughest stretch of theirs.
And they still haven't beat a West team.
Yeah,
right. So that's. But yeah, I'm actually calling this. I'm going against my instincts and my former colleague and still friend, and I'm using must win.
How's he doing? Talk to him.
I haven't talked to him recently.
I never talked to him.
Actually, we would never talk in the summer.
Yeah,
like rarely. So I still talk to him at the rink. I mean, you work with a guy that close for 11 seasons. You're part of each other's lives for sure.
God, he makes me laugh. He's a funny man.
Yeah. Hired or fired? Fantasy football has become too insane.
Gosh, this is a hard one for me because I don't partake in any of it. I don't know how it works. I know I refuse to dive into this because it just seems like it's all consuming. So I'm going to hire it. Hire it's to say it's gone crazy because I see what it does to people. I mean, Jay Milne's eyes on Monday from doing his draft. It looked like he lost the battle with Wild Turkey. It was awful. I was like, "What'd you do last night?" He was like, I had my draft. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" But no, I'm. It's way too much.
I mean, like I don't, and I've never got involved in fantasy football because I know that I could get consumed.
Yeah,
by fantasy football.
Yeah,
and so I gotta hire it. It's way too crazy because I just know, and I know guys that do it and they love it, but I'm just like, the level of not just of passion you have for this, but the level of time and brain space you put towards this just baffles me. I'm just like, someone's like, I play fantasy football. I'm like, do you have kids? They'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, so you hate your kids? And they'll usually answer, they'll think about it and they'll be like, yeah, I guess I do. And I was like, well, I guess that makes sense then, because fantasy football is all consuming. So yeah, way too crazy. Way too crazy.
I would become the virtual Jerry Jones is what I would become. Be awful.
Just ruthless too.
Yeah.
I would just flood. I just know I would flood everybody. I would drive the commissioner crazy because I would just flood with like the worst trade proposals ever, every day. Just drive people nuts.
We'll give the last text to Luke in Cowtown. I'm glad there's people who are being very lighthearted and humorous today. This is a must-win for Connor's team in the captain's skate if he doesn't want to be in next year's Whipping Boy bracket.
Well done. If we did have a text
that's a good one.
For two guys, that would win for sure. Thanks, Luke.
Okay, Cass, great seeing you. That's Matt Kassian. Gager's sticking around. He's on EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas. The Coob has slid into the studio at the technical desk. He's ready to go. I'm reading for Dustin today. I got my show with Jay Milne at 3 o'clock. Thanks for listening to Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by GS Construction.